Hello, my name is Rick Singer. I'm the Chief Academic Officer of Getting Into College and the CEO and Master Coach of The Key. Over the last 20 some odd years, we've helped tens of thousands of kids get into school of their choice. It's my goal today to teach you how to find the right fit college for you. The process is much more competitive than what I went through, and it is my intention that you will walk away from every one of these videos and have a real good indication of how to play the game. If you have more questions, go to our website, gettingintocollege.com. So now we're at the end of the process. We have great grades, we have great scores, we have a great story. So now what do we do next? Well, you need to ask yourself 5 questions. Because what we have to do now is determine the right fit college. And we always tell our students that to find the right fit college, you need to ask yourself these 5 questions. But the overarching idea is, where will I fit in socially best? Because if I fit in socially, I'm going to do great in school, and I'm going to have a great experience. On Sunday night, when I call my parents, my mom is going to hear my voice if I'm not happy. But if I'm happy, she's going to hear that and gloat and gleam because she knows I'm in the right place. But to do that, I need to figure out these 5 questions and come up with the answers. So number 1 is, what geographic location in the country do I want to be in? So, we always tell kids you have to pick 2 geographic areas. Do I want to be in the West? That would be Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Hawaii. Do I want to be in the East? Do I want to be in the Midwest? Do I want to be in the Rockies? Do I want to be in the Southeast? What I find amazing as somebody who lives in California is many times our students tell us, I want to go east. So it's amazing when I say east, well, what does that mean? Well, the first thing they think about is the East Coast. And I always say to them, so tell me, in your mind, does it look like this, where you stand on the Pacific Ocean and you start moving east, and as you start going east on your journey, you dive underneath the earth at about Sacramento, and then you come up about Philadelphia. And that's what you think are the colleges in America, the West and the East. What about all these great schools in the middle of the country? Phenomenal schools. But we all have our biases. Way back when, I used to ask kids, well, let's think about schools in Texas when they lived in the East Coast and they lived in the West. And they would say to me, like, where? Where would I go in Texas? They all wear cowboy hats and boots. I'm like, no. You have no clue. Places like Dallas and Fort Worth and Austin and Houston are amazing cities. They are really cosmopolitan. They may be more cosmopolitan than the city you're from. So there's great schools out there. Or I would say to kids, how about the Midwest? And they'd be like, whoa, the Midwest? What's wrong with Chicago? One of the greatest cities in America. Second largest city, right? But everybody has this preconceived notion until you open your eyes and your heart to looking at everything that's out there. Again, the number 1 factor is, where is the right social fit? So the number 1 question that I'm asking you is, what geographic areas in the country do you think you want to attend school? So you got to look at weather. Becomes a big part of this. How far you're going to have to travel. It's going to be a big part of that too. The second question you have to ask is, when I find that geographic area, do I want an urban campus? Do I want a residential campus? Do I want a college town? Or do I want a rural campus? So let's define it. So urban would be a place like NYU. There's really no campus. You got these big buildings. You got the energy of New York City. A lot of kids say, I want to come to New York and I want to be in New York City. Well, why? Well, because I went on vacation with my parents. We went to a theater. We went out to dinner. It was so much fun. And mom and dad are saying, you're going to college. We're not taking a cab or Uber everywhere and going out to eat and spending all this money going to the theater to see Hamilton. We're not doing that. You're going to college. So you're not running around the city. But maybe urban campus is fine. That'd be a place like BU, which is right along Commonwealth Avenue. No real quad, but kids may like that. NYU, BU, USC. But USC is slightly different because they actually have a campus, but it is urban, right in the middle of the city. So you have to decide if that's what you want. Residential, which is 15 minutes to a half hour from the city, really easy to get to, is another area of schools. So what would that be? That'd be a Georgetown, really close to DC, Boston College, really close to Boston, Northwestern in Evanston, really close to Chicago, within 15 minutes. Do I want a residential college so that I'm near the big city but not quite in the big city and I can get there? 3, college town. So define college town. College town is where everything revolves around that college. So think about it. Saturday at 8 o'clock I wake up. 10 o'clock I go to the first tailgate. 12 o'clock I walk into the stadium. 4 o'clock I rush the field. 7 o'clock I'm at the first party. Second party at 9. Third party at 11. Munchies at midnight. Sleep till noon on Sunday. Get the phone call from my mom. Honey, how are you? How's your week going? Oh, Mom, I've worked so hard this week. I'm studying all the time. And all you do as a student in one of those college town schools, rah, is you think about next Saturday. It's all about next Saturday or Tuesday and Wednesday at the big basketball game. But you have this collegial environment, college town, everything revolves around the college. Is that what you want? Or do you want a rural setting? Far and away, you could go hike and bike, leave your door open. You don't even have to wear clothes. Just run naked. Life will be fine because nobody will ever see you. You got all these choices. Urban, residential, college town, or rural. I suggest you pick 2 of those, match it with your geographics, and we can come up with a great set of schools. 3, class size. So, do I want a small school? Small schools would be considered from 0 to about 3,000. Do I want a medium-sized school, 3,000 to 12,000? Do I want a large school, 12,000 and above? It's your choice, which is really great. But you have to decide what fits you best. Do I want to be in classes of 400 or 500 where the professor doesn't know me? Or do I want to be in classes of 15, 20? When I raise my hand, I get a response, and I start to have great interaction with my peers as well as my professor. You get to choose. 4th most important thing is going to be, what do I want to study? Well, that's crazy. We've already talked about earlier, if you don't pick one of the 4 disciplines, nursing, accounting, engineering, or computer science, then the chances of you getting a job right out of school that's meaningful, you're probably not. So, what is the discipline I want to be involved in? What is my passion all about? So that's what you got to find out. Know this, that almost 90% of the kids that go to school today, they change their major between 2 and 4 times. So whatever you think you're going to study, you may change as you grow and figure out what you want to do. Great stories are all these kids that say they want to be doctors. I love it. I talk to kids in the middle of their freshman year, and I say, how's things going? And they say, you won't believe what happened. You know, I talked about being a doctor as a sophomore, as a junior, as a senior, working with you guys. And now I'm here as a freshman. I took my first bio class and my first math class, and I got C's. I got 1 B and I got 1 C. You know what I did? I ran to the registrar and changed my major. I'm now a poli-sci major. And that happens all the time. So what you think you're going to do and what you really do, you never know. So the last question that you need to ask yourself is, what can I afford? Do not be afraid to go out of state if you're looking at public universities, because the reality is you may find out that it's cheaper to go out of state, room and board and tuition, than it is in your own state. That is a reality in some places. If you're talking about private schools, it doesn't matter if you're going in-state or out of state. The reality is that it costs the same. So what you can afford is an important question, and you need to figure out that early so that you aren't visiting schools that don't make sense. Here's another real quick tidbit. If you want to get scholarship money from schools, the easiest way to do that is to always apply down. So, if I'm good enough to go to a Tier 1 level school, let's say that I'm good enough to go and I have a 4.3 GPA and I have a 1450 SAT and I have a 34 ACT and I have a great story, I can get into lots of Tier 1 schools. But if I apply to a low Tier 1 or a high Tier 2 school, they will give me lots of money. Why will they give me scholarship and merit money? Because I am good enough that that is not going to be my first choice school. But if I want to get money, they want me. They find me attractive because I'm better than the normal student body that applies and they accept. So they're willing to give me merit money. So if you want the big money and you want to afford schools that maybe you can't afford, then what you do is you apply down. If I'm a Tier 2 student and I apply to a Tier 3 school, the chances are I'm going to get some money from them, which may make it more affordable. So just some tidbits. There are 5 questions. You need to answer all 5 of those, and then we can determine the right fit. So please, if you have any questions, go to gettingintocollege.com and we can answer everything you need to know about getting into college, what's the right choice, the right fit, and come up with a list of schools for you. Thanks, and have a great day.